morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. My name is Robert Antoinin, host of the Bigger, Bolder You Global Conference. And this event has been created for entrepreneurs and business owners. It's even for the girl from around the way and the CEO that she is today. If you've ever had a dream or a passion or a desire to do more and to be more in the marketplace, this is your time and this is the moment. This is the event that you wanted to be connected to because the intent here is to create a transformative experience that not only changes you on the outside, but it changes you from the inside. As you listen to the speakers today, they want to help you tear down those limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. They want to remove the imposter syndrome that has held you bound in fear for far too long. I can hear someone asking the question right now: who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Well, the question that I have for you today is: who are you not to be? When you listen to these speakers, hear their successes, but key in on their failures and how they were able to overcome. When you hear from Sherelle, Martha, Kayla, and Atia, we believe that you're going to be bigger, better, and bolder. And in the words of our founder, Alicia Brooks, we believe that you will be brand uniquely you.
Hello and welcome to the Bigger, Bolder You Global Conference. I am so grateful, honored, blessed. The commitment of you saying yes. You saying yes to me. You don't even know me. I'm grateful. I'm so honored. I'm so elated. You just don't understand. But I want to say thank you for saying yes to my amazing friends, the ones I knew and the ones I just met. I do not take it lightly. I do not take it for granted. And I'm saying thank you. Welcome to the Bigger, Bolder You Global Conference. I can tell you, I have totally dreamed, journaled, and talked about this moment for a long time. All right. And when I tell you I had a mindset shift where I truly asked God to please remove everyone out of my life who will no longer celebrate me or has not. But bring those people in my life that wish me well, who want and desire to see me win and go to my next level. Because I know it's not about me. It's about you and me together. I cannot do this without you. So thank you for saying yes. I am committed to my bigger, bolder, new version of Alicia Brooks. And I have had the right people come into my life to make this happen, to lift my arms up when I said, oh my God, I can't do this again. To all the people who want to rock with me in my next level, I'm willing to rock with you all the way. So I want you to know that I'm grateful. I'm so honored that we are connected now. I'm so honored that you have showed up and you're about to show out with me together, because this is the year of you and me. So I want you to get everything you're supposed to get in this conference, whether you receive one nugget or many nuggets, gems, jewels, whatever you receive. I want it to make a difference in your life, that you walk away saying, I am going to really walk in my bolder self. I'm really going to play a bigger game in life. I am willing to say yes to my next. That is what I want you to walk away from because this is the year of you. This is the time to walk in the bigger, bolder version of you. It is time to connect with the right people. You've been praying for it, you've been asking for it, you've been manifesting it. Now it's here. So I want you to know that I am grateful. And I just want to know, are you ready? Are you really, really ready to make it happen? I can't make it happen for you. I can make it happen alongside you. But you gotta be willing. You got to be willing and committed to you and bet on you every day. So thank you for joining the Bigger Bolder You family because that's where and how I'm going to be and show up and see things. You are in my community, my tribe. You are on the same vibe I am. And that is what the Bigger Bolder You is about. I know that people don't know me, but I am Alicia Brooks. I am Alicia Brooks. And I'm humbled. I'm so humbled that you decided to connect. You decided to make a decision to say, I want to see what this is about. I want to bet on me. So you're here. Enjoy the conference. Enjoy the amazing speakers. Enjoy the connections. Enjoy getting ready to go into your next, honey, because it's time. It is truly time. So I want you to please share with your friends. It's not too late to register. It really isn't. You can register up to the last day, but I want you to enjoy the whole thing. Okay? So I want you to truly, truly, truly put it out there. All right? Because I want you to say whatever it is you're learning or the gem you've received or the connection, whatever you want to say that has touched and inspired you into your next. I want you to use the hashtag, share, use the hashtag bigger, bolder, you, and hashtag year of you. And please tag me so that I will know what has blessed your heart and your soul and your spirit, and that you are ready to go to the next. For the person who shares the most, pings me, tags me, whatever, I have a special prize for you. A special prize for you. It really is special. So I want you to use the hashtag bigger, bolder, you, and the year of you, and tag me, Alicia Brooks, in the post so that I know who's doing it. Next, we will have vendor booths for all the speakers and others so that you will receive a link in a few hours, days within before the conference, all right? So that you're able to get into my private Facebook group, which is Bigger Bolder You, which you should have gotten a link when you registered so that you can join. So if you haven't, look for Bigger Bolder You Facebook group. I will be there before, during, and after because that is where I am going to be intentionally every day. Now, I can't tell you when just yet because of my schedule and all of this, but I will be showing up every day because I want you to win and I want to take you with me because I can't be my bigger, bolder version of me without you. All right. So please share again and do not miss a special session every night, which is called the Bigger Bolder You After Dark. That is where you will see amazing other individuals and get to connect with amazing people as well, all over the world. So, what did I say? Use the hashtag, share, register for Bigger Bolder You After Dark, and join me in my Facebook private group, Bigger Bolder You. I want to see you there. I want to connect. I want to truly vibe together. Okay? But most of all, I want us to walk in our next confident, bold, bigger, and truly living our best lives and best selves. Because I know there is greatness in you because you're so awesome. You are so awesome. And so I cannot wait to connect. I cannot wait to learn more about who you are. I cannot wait to see how you show up and show out as your bigger, bolder, new version of who you are. So welcome, and I thank you again for joining me. This is Alicia Brooks, and I'm out. Thank you. Mwah.
Hello, and congratulations on deciding to become the bigger, bolder version of you. It's exciting to talk about this today. I'm elated, like it literally sends chills up my spine. Why am I so excited to talk about this? Because you, my friends, are a divine creature who is meant to do amazing things. And the only thing that has been limiting us in our lives is us. You see, the obstacles that are presented in our lives are full of lessons and context that give us the skills and the ability and the wisdom to become whatever it is that we want in this world. We are the ultimate creators of our world. What we need to realize is we cannot control the past, and we're not meant to. And we cannot control everything that happens in our day as we'd like to. But what we can control is our responses and our reactions. I live by 3 words: emancipation, strength, and transformation. And let me tell you what those 3 words mean for me and have done for me. They have allowed me to walk in my bigger, bolder, brighter self. You see, when I made the decision to become the woman that I wanted to be, I had to decide to emancipate myself from societal labels, boxes, and perceptions of who I was meant to be and who I was. The strength came from emancipating myself. The liberation came from emancipating myself of others' views and opinions and dictations and determinations of what my life was supposed to look like. And when I speak of that strength, I mean, I walk in my authenticity. I walk in my power. I wield my womanhood like a sword that is so powerful and unbreakable. Because I myself have proven time and time again after falling, time and time again that I am unbreakable. Transformation. Transformation is something that you decide can happen at any point in your life. You see, life is a series of moments, and every moment is this moment. A few moments ago were this moment. A few moments from now will be this moment. But it is so important to live in the present moment. And in the present moment, you've decided to embark on a journey to becoming a bigger, bolder version of you. And that is so beautiful. You've decided that you want more. You've decided that you deserve more. That's so powerful in itself. My name is Sherelle Kitchen. I am a certified spiritual coach. And the work that I do with people is we identify the pains, the traumas, the past experiences, and limiting beliefs in our mindset that are holding us back from achieving the mental, emotional, and spiritual alignment that is necessary to reach the goals that we have for ourselves. And when you do this work, you realize that the limiting beliefs come from past experiences, they come from past traumas, they come from past pains. And I'm here to tell you that none of that dictates who you are. It is only contributed to who you've chosen to become. And in this moment, you've chosen to become a bigger, bolder version of yourself. You've decided that your voice is worthy of being heard. You've decided that you are powerful enough to do whatever it is that you want to do. You've decided that you can have whatever business you want. You can attract an abundant flow of money. You can have whatever family version of life you want. You can have whatever relationship you desire. You can become whoever it is you want to become because you are that powerful. You are finding that divine goddess within you and saying, she is worthy. I am worthy. I am deserving. And this workshop is going to give you the tools and the skill set and the knowledge and the wisdom combined with what you already have to create what it is that you want. That's beautiful. So congratulations to you. You've taken the first step on deciding that you're no longer going to be who you were yesterday. That series of moments that I discussed a moment ago, in this present moment, you've decided to move forward and move past your fears. What does it mean to move past your fears? It means that you're acknowledging that fear itself is an illusion. Children understand that fear is an illusion. They're not afraid to climb, jump, run. They're not afraid to touch things that they shouldn't. It is not until we as parents or adults or society place fear within them that they become afraid. See, their spirit understands that fear is an illusion. As adults, we've been wired to be fearful of the power that is within us. The moment you realize fear is an illusion and you realize that it comes from yourself and your past circumstances, you move forward. You say, you know what? That negative thought that came into my mind today that told me I can't do it, I don't believe it. Because my spirit is so strong and so grounded in itself that it understands that I am limitless. I am strong beyond measure. And I have the power to do, say, feel, experience whatever it is that I want. You see, you can't control everything around you, which is what we'd like to do. The ultimate goal is surrender. Surrendering to your purpose. Surrendering to your authentic self. Surrendering to the highest version of you. Surrendering to the fact that you can be whoever you want to be, whenever you choose to become that woman. And it looks like you've made a decision today. When you walk away today, I hope that you walk away with insight that blows your mind and rewires your thought patterns to where those negative thoughts, those nagging thoughts that come up in all of our lives every day, that tell us we can't, that tell us it's too hard, that tell us we're not worthy, that ask us who are we to have the audacity to dream this big, are squashed. Because you do have the audacity. You have the audacity to be that great. You are that great. You have the power to be that great. And you deserve to be that great. I want you to understand that walking in your power means you are grounded in yourself. You know who you are. You know where you belong. And you know that anything you desire, you deserve. So challenge those limiting beliefs and move forward today with a new, powerful insight, embracing the divine goddess within you and saying, I can do and say and be whoever it is that I choose, because God has ordained that for me. We are reflections of God. We have all been created with a purpose. And it is our jobs to identify that purpose and to serve it well, to live it well, to revel in the experience, and to live our lives without limitations. I challenge you to challenge yourself, to live in your purpose and walk in your divinity. So, how do we start? We start by saying, today I make a change. Today, I will not limit my beliefs. Today, I will embrace my womanhood and the strength and the power and the wisdom that is already within my spirit. I will create a mantra that I will say to myself every day that reminds me of who I am, who I want to become. And every day I will work towards that. And when things get hard, I will not give up. I will not bow down. I will not fall apart. I will remember that I am unbreakable, because look how far I've come. As life has thrown its challenges at me, and in the midst of all the hustle and bustle, I have thrived and survived. I am powerful. I will walk in my bigger, bolder, brighter purpose. I will be who I decide I want to be. I will live the way I choose and not how society has told me I should. I will remove these limiting beliefs because I don't have to believe them just because they're there. I will trust in myself and my abilities because I know that I have the power to do so. Transform yourself today. Soak up the knowledge, soak up the energy, soak up the power, and feed your spirit, because your spirit will never guide you in the wrong direction. Whereas those negative thoughts that have been created from places outside of yourself will. It's a rewiring of the brain. There's an amazing book by Joe Dispenza, okay? And it's called Becoming the Person I Want to Be, I believe. And it's all about rewiring the brain, removing those negative thoughts, utilizing positive affirmations, trusting in ourselves, going back and doing the shadow work to figure out how we got from point A to point B, which created the self-doubt to begin with. And then deciding I'm moving forward to point C. And who can tell me that I can't do that? I am the only person whose opinion, whose choices, whose decisions, whose thought process matters in this entire process. And so I will trust myself. I will believe in myself. And I will know that I can do it. You want to start your own business? What's stopping you? Who's stopping you? When you really think about it, you'll realize the only person stopping you is you. You are your own obstacle. To walk in your bigger, bolder purpose, you have to move out of your own way. The moment you decide to move out of your own way and align yourself with mind, body, spirit, and heart, you can achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. I want you to write a burn list. I challenge you to. I challenge all of my clients to do this when I first meet with them. And write down every negative, limiting thought that you have on a piece of paper. Read it out loud to yourself, and then cross it all off and burn that paper. Let go of that energy. You are a divine goddess. You have to embrace it. You have to know it. And in order to do so, you've got to remove those thoughts that you can't. That is not in our vocabulary. We are going to rewire ourselves to the positive aspect of understanding that we can be powerful beyond belief. We can make change in this world. And we start within our own. We start with our minds. We start with our spirits. And we start with our hearts. We heal old wounds. And we decide to move forward with a zealous, ambitious, strongly energetic passion to get us to where it is that we want to go. Because we know that we deserve it. So congratulations on making the decision today to become the bigger, bolder you. I'm so excited that you're finding your voice and your purpose. I'm so excited that you've decided to embark on the journey of finding who you want to be and deciding that you deserve to be that person. So soak it all up. Enjoy this process. Enjoy the growth. Expand exponentially on the energy. And be a bigger, bolder you. It's been a pleasure.
Hello, everyone. My name is Martha Russian, and I am ecstatic to be one of the speakers in the Bigger, Bolder You conference. Guys, listen, my topic today that I want to speak to you on is transforming your life. Transforming your life is near and dear to my heart because I have had to walk on the journey of transforming my life. Just a few short years ago, my life was flipped upside down by a distracted driver. The distracted driver ran into the back of my car at 60 miles per hour as I was at a complete stop, waiting to drop my kids off. Guys, it transformed my life. But not only did it transform my life, it claimed the life of my 7-month-old son. He died on impact. That day was a life-altering day. And not only did it claim the life of my 7-month-old son, but that accident, it left me in a 4-month coma. It left me in a 4-month coma to where everything on the inside of me died. My organs began to shut down. My brain began to shut down. I underwent 4 brain surgeries, reconstructive surgery on my face, abdominal surgery, spinal surgery. I went through so much that my body could not take any more surgeries or any more trauma. It was so bad that the doctors had given up on me. They began to prepare my family for the end. It was no light at the end of my tunnel, but there was still purpose. I still had a fight in me. I still had a desire to live. And even though I was in the coma, I had a praying mother, and my mother believed in the power of prayer. But not only the power of prayer, she believed that I still had the power to fulfill my purpose and my destiny. She felt like it wasn't over. My story was just beginning. And so even though I wasn't in a position to fight for myself, my mother stood in the gap and she fought for me night and day. When I wasn't able to breathe on my own, when the doctors wanted her to give up, when they wanted the plug to be pulled, she declined everything that the doctor said because she had the mindset that I still had purpose, that I still had a destiny to fulfill. And I get to now have the opportunity to share my story with you. I have the opportunity now to help others transform their lives the same way that I've been able to transform mine. So, guys, 4 months in a coma, that accident left me paralyzed from the waist down. I spent 2 years in a wheelchair, and I only had a 15% window to ever walk again. I understood that it was going to be a long journey ahead of me, but I also had a desire to walk. I had a fire down in my soul that I knew that one day I would be able to put my left foot in front of my right foot and I would be able to walk. And not only would I be able to walk, but I would be able to run again. And even though I had to take the journey of learning how to walk again, learning how to read again, learning how to speak, learning how to bathe myself, learning how to articulate my words, I had to relearn everything. I went back to stage 1. But I want to tell you that it's okay. In life, sometimes we have to start over. Sometimes we have to hit the reset button. And even though my journey was long and my journey was hard, I was glad that the reset button was hit because I had the opportunity to show other people in the world that regardless of what cards life throws at you, if you align them the right way, they will align up in your favor. And so I took the cards that I was dealt, and I understood what my doctors said my diagnosis was, but I did not allow that to stop me. I did not allow myself to end without a fight. I took what the doctor said and I said, as long as I have breath in my body, I will do everything that I need to do on a daily basis to fight, to walk, to succeed. And so how many of you have a goal that you have put on the back burner? How many of you have allowed circumstances to overtake you? How many of you have allowed finances to kill your dream or the inability of people to support you? Maybe family don't support you. Maybe your friends don't support you. But so what? That has nothing to do with the dream, the desire, and the purpose that you have on the inside of you. As long as you can see it, as long as you can imagine it, and as long as you can dream it, it is possible. The only thing that needs to happen is you need to align your mindset with your vision. So let's talk about your mindset for a minute. What are you feeding your mind? The same way that you feed your physical body, you have to feed your physical mind. You have to allow your mind to understand how to achieve success. You have to allow your mind to divorce every limited belief, everything that will cause you to procrastinate, everything that will cause you to be stagnant, everything that will cause you to fail, and everything that will cause you to have a setback. You have to move those things out of your way. Whether they are friends, whether they are family, you have to put them aside, and you have to understand that nobody else can show up for you the way that you show up for yourself. I had to show up for me. I understood that the report said one thing, but I also understood that if I showed up for myself, regardless if I never walked again, I could never say that I didn't try. I could never say that I didn't give it my all. I could never say that I did not put 100% effort forward in order for me to transform my life. And so, guys, I want you to look at your goals. I want you to look at that vision board. What are you not doing? What are you not doing? Because we a lot of times say, well, I'm doing this and I'm putting this in place. Well, what are you not doing that is preventing you from achieving the level of success that you desire? Those things that you're not doing, whatever your mind is telling you that you don't have the ability to do, I need you to rethink, rewrite, and reevaluate the tools and the nuggets that you have in your mind. Whether that takes you waking up and saying affirmations in the morning, whether that takes for you to stop talking to certain people, whether that takes for you to stop watching certain things on TV, because a lot of times we have a lot of different noises in our lives and in our environment that prevents us from seeing ourselves. So I want you to take a minute, take a journey with me. You have your goals, you have your dreams, you have your desires. So let's go to the finish line. Let's go to the lane of victory. Are you there? Can you see yourself? Can you see yourself victorious? Can you see yourself at the end? Can you see yourself accomplished and successful? How does it feel? Are you happy? Look at your smile. Embrace the feeling that you have right here in the very moment. Now take those feelings. Now take that energy that you have at the finish line. Now bring it back. Now allow it to rewrite your current circumstances, because you have the power to manifest everything that you desire in your life, regardless of what things look like. With our mouths, we speak defeat. So are you speaking defeat, or are you speaking victorious things in your life? Are you manifesting failure, or are you manifesting success with your voice? What is your voice saying to you right now? What are you allowing the people around you, the people in your circle, the people in your family, what are you allowing them to sow into your life? Because every time someone has a conversation with you, they are sowing seeds. They are sowing seeds into you mentally. They are sowing seeds into you physically. What are you doing with those seeds? Do those seeds limit you, or do those seeds help you to propel forward? What are you doing with your time? You have 24 hours in a day. How much of that time are you investing in yourself? We invest in so many things each and every day. We invest in other people. We invest in our 9-to-5 jobs. We invest in ministry. We invest in our children. We invest in our spouses. But what about us? What about the man in the mirror? Are you taking the opportunity every day. Every day you should sow 10% of your time into your goals, into your future. So that is 2 hours and 40 minutes a day that you should set aside in order for you to fulfill your success for that day. Every day you should have a daily goal. We have 12 months goals. We have 3-year goals. But what about your daily goals? Those are great to have future goals. But what are you doing daily that will help you reach the long-term goal that you have ahead of yourself? What are you doing every hour that will help set you up for success? Those little things, those little wins are not so little, because each time you reach the next level, each time you succeed at the little wins, they help to get you to the big wins. So what are you doing today? Allow us to take a moment to evaluate our daily actions. How are your daily actions aligning with your long-term goals? So I mentioned to you guys about my journey of transforming myself. So 2 years in a wheelchair, every single day I had to show up for myself. I could not allow my limited beliefs to be my fuel. I had to allow my mind to be retrained. I had to allow my mind to focus on what I wanted. And what I wanted was to walk. What I wanted was to run. What I wanted was to play with my children. What I wanted was to be a mom again. What I wanted was to take a trip without the wheelchair, without limitations. I wanted to be fearless again. I wanted to have self-control of my body. That is what I wanted. So I had to take steps every single day in order for that to be a reality. So every day I worked hard. I worked with my physical therapist. I worked with my speech therapist. And I did everything that I needed to do on a daily basis in order for me to achieve the long-term goal of walking. And so too often we give up too easily. What have you given up on? That very thing that you have given up on, that is your success tool. I need you to pick those very things up that you've put on the back burner, that you said is impossible. Pick it up and understand that all things are possible if you just work on it. If you just put your all into it, you deserve it. We will allow ourselves to feed other people's dreams. But then when it comes to our own dreams and our own desires, we won't do what is necessary for us to be our number one cheerleader, for us to show up for ourselves. You deserve it. You deserve the success. You deserve your goals. So guys, on a daily basis, I picked up my goal of walking. And was it easy? No. It was the hardest thing that I ever had to endure. But I took my mind off of what was around me. I took my mind off of my current circumstances, and I envisioned myself running. I envisioned myself walking. And guys, I was able to manifest. I was able to manifest my ability to walk. I was able to manifest and align my mindset with the end goal. And did I reach my goal? Yes. Did it happen overnight? No. But I was willing to show up for myself every single day, regardless of how long it took. And on my 2-year journey, I sat in that wheelchair and I did everything that I needed to do to show up for myself, to be successful, to transform my mindset. And as I began to transform my mind, I began to transform my thoughts. As my thoughts began to transform, my words began to transform. As my words began to transform, my actions began to transform. And as my actions began to transform, my life began to transform. And when my life began to transform, my body aligned with the vision that it had the ability to walk again. My brain began to ignite a fire down in my soul, down in my spine, and everything began to align with the way that it was created to be. And guys, I took my first step. After 2 years of being in that wheelchair, I took my first step. And I went from being in a wheelchair for 2 years to walking in a walker, to walking with a cane, to walking across the stage, being crowned Mrs. North Carolina, sharing my story with other people who lost hope, with other people who didn't think that it was possible for them to succeed. And I allowed the pain that I endured to power and infuse others. So guys, I tell you on today that you have all power, all skills, and all ability to succeed. You just have to align your mindset with your thoughts. Align your thoughts with your words, and align your words with your actions, and let go of every limited belief that hinders you and stops you, and begin to put one foot in front of the other and move forward. I am Martha Russian, and you are able to succeed.
But I must. And the question is, are you a thermostat or are you a thermometer? In life, you will experience pain. I have experienced pain. But the question we must all learn to answer is, how do I turn my pain into power? Power and purpose. So I want you to take a journey with me from pain to pandemic, all the way to purpose. See, the reason why I must ask you if you are a thermostat or a thermometer is because in life, we can find ourselves just reacting to our environments, to the atmosphere. Just letting things happen to us. Do you know that I suffered in my self-worth, my confidence, and my vision? I wasn't able to see me properly. I didn't know that I was a thermostat. What is a thermostat? Why do I keep saying, are you a thermometer or are you a thermostat? Thermometers, they tell you what the temperature is in the room, right? I hope you have your pencil and pen because this is going to be good. thermostats, you can change the temperature. So I know me, when I walk in the room, I change the temperature. But before I really accepted my purpose, I was just a thermometer. I always turned my volume down. I was just reacting to life. In 2017, I made one of the worst decisions that I could ever make, and I can't take it back. But that decision changed the trajectory of my life, and it catapulted me into purpose. That decision, you may be asking, what is it? What is the decision? The decision, after I took on the task of speaking in front of people, speaking life into people, the attack came. And it was from this savage mentality that I was operating in, with blurred vision, clouded vision, obscured vision, that I made another painful decision. That decision was to abort a child. And that decision was not easy to make. You may have made some decisions operating out of a savage mentality, and it's caused you some pain. See, I was making decisions out of pain over and over and over again. I hit my brick wall. Have you hit your brick wall? How many times have you been down and out, and you still hadn't decided to be a thermostat? What is it going to take? You know what it took for me? It took me to get on my knees and say, God, I need a second chance, because the decision I just made has cost me something. The price of pain, the price of hurt and sorrow. But months later, after I'm begging and pleading with God for a second chance, and honestly, it might have been my 33rd chance. I'm pretty sure we've all asked God, please, just please. Months later, in 2017, I started to study success, because I knew that I could no longer be a thermometer. I had to change the decisions that I was making. It could no longer be painful decisions over and over and over and over again, directing my life. What decisions are directing your life? Are they healthy? It wasn't until later, when I started intentionally studying success. And you know what they told me? You know what I found out? I found out about a morning routine. Number one, morning routine. And in that study of success, and in that morning routine, successful people who were living a life that I so desired, they said, the first win of your day is making your bed. Can you believe that? Something so small as making your bed. Why is that important to you? Why should you adopt this into your lifestyle? Because it was then, after I made that decision, November 1st, 2017, to make my bed, I have yet to miss a morning of making my bed. See, success is in your routines. And what you keep sacred will become successful. Can you become successful? Are you willing to become successful? Are you willing to make your bed? I had to ask myself these questions because, again, I was just a young girl who made these decisions out of pain, and I was a thermometer. And after deciding to never miss a day of making my bed, 2018 rolled around. And you better guess it, I had a microphone in my hand and I was speaking life into people. And I was excited about what I had found out about my life. But months passed by and months passed by, and I found myself at the end of that year facing depression and thoughts of suicide. I thought God had given me another second chance and that I would not experience pain anymore. Why was I suffering from depression and hiding it from people who love me, portraying this perfection that wasn't true? It wasn't real. I remember the night that I no longer wanted to be here. My self-worth, my vision, my value was tied up into something external. It wasn't even tied up into the one who created me, because he called me beautifully and wonderfully made. But I didn't know that at that time. I thought that I was operating as a thermostat, and I was on my way. Don't get me wrong, the story gets better. So as I'm experiencing these thoughts of, I don't want to be here anymore, I have no reason, I have no value, I realized that I must get some help. See, some of us are always making decisions for ourselves, never consulting our wise counsel. And one thing that I had to stand in was my wise counsel. You know how you can damage yourself or you can hurt yourself and you have to go into surgery. And all of that work is on the doctor. But then there comes a time when you have to go to physical therapy, and that's when you have to do the work. See, now is my time to do the work. After suicidal thoughts, I had open heart surgery. But now it was time for me to get my heart back pumping and bleeding the way it once was. But now there was a paradigm shift. My trajectory had changed. And so as I was going through this therapy, day by day, I was getting stronger. My heart was becoming more of mine. My value was turning up. But I still was not missing a morning of making my bed. See, it was in my routine that I became more successful in who I am. It was in my routine that I understood myself and my pain. And I was able to connect the dots of why I had got there in the first place. So yeah, I'm a thermostat and I'm making my way. And I'm changing the atmosphere. See, that was my pandemic. That was something that I was dealing with personally. And so I ask you again, have you made your bed? See, when I hit that brick wall of life and I was asking God for a second chance, after the pain, we hit the pandemic, purpose was birthed through the pandemic. See, I wouldn't be here today if I didn't push through. See, I wouldn't be here today if I gave up. See, I wouldn't be here today speaking to you, the bigger, bolder you, if I would have never made my bed. So yeah, I ain't gonna miss no day of making my bed. Because purpose. See, sometimes we have to get out of that bed. We have to declare when our footsteps hit the floor that my purpose, I am here. My divine purpose is being walked out as soon as my feet hit this floor. See, our bed can represent comfortability, sorrow. See, I cried a lot in my room, in my bed. No one ever knew. What are you holding on to in your bed that you need to let go of? When you wake up in the morning, you can feel a little lighter because you made your bed and you put that stuff, that old self, that lack of vision, that lack of confidence, that lack of self-worth, you putting that to bed. And you're waking up with purpose, intention, supernatural confidence, supernatural power. Yeah, this was happening all throughout the pain and even through the pandemic. It was in my routine that I became stronger, bigger, and bolder. Everything that I do is on purpose. And see, when you learn how to get out of those covers that feel so good to you sometime, that pain that feels so good to sit in sometime, when you learn to let that go, you enter another realm of who you are destined to be. So no, I don't play about me anymore. My morning routine, that's sacred, baby. You better not interrupt my morning routine. Because when you start interrupting my morning routine, you start messing with my purpose. And see, I just don't play about me anymore. Tell your friend, tell your boyfriend, tell your sister, auntie, uncles, and everybody else, say, I just don't play about me anymore. See, that I had to always slay my giants. You know Daniel and David and Joseph and Jesus, right? They're pretty famous if you ask me. But David, he was a man who was always slaying his giants. See, everybody thinks it's always about the big giant that is in front of people. Our giants are the moments that make us sometimes feel very, very small. See, one of the giants that I had to slay was the routine. I had to understand that this was the mindset I had to get into. And those were the moments that I had to slay. I had to slay. So yeah, I'm a thermostat because everywhere I go, you better know it's a vibe. Because I worked hard for this. You have to work hard for what you want. You have to say to everybody and anybody that I just don't play about me anymore. Because when it's time to position you for what your purpose is, you have to be available. The bigger, bolder you is going to step out. The bigger, bolder you is going to stand out. See, you want to fit in. Thermostat, they tell the atmosphere what to do. See, everybody isn't meant to understand why when you walk in the room, everything turns around. But as you walk into your bigger, your bolder you, it doesn't matter who doesn't understand, because now, after you've made your bed, after you experience your pain, after you slayed your giants, you know who you are. And you don't play about you anymore. Tell somebody again, I don't play about me anymore. See, I graduated. Yeah, I graduated from feeling sorry for myself. I graduated. I can wear my cap. I can wear my cap because I graduated. I graduated from feeling sorry for myself. I graduated from people's opinions of me. See, I graduated from that insecure little girl. See, I graduated when I experienced the pain. I went through the pandemic internally and found purpose. See, some of us have to learn to graduate from the pain. Are you going to graduate from your pain? Or are you just going to sit there, wallow in it, like it's the bed that you want to be in? See, you're crowned and positioned when you're available. So you might have a vision, but if you don't graduate from the pain that is meant to hold you back, if you don't turn that pain into power, and this is how you do it. I love Cindy Trim. And Cindy Trim said this, and it will stick with me forever. Your prayer points you to your pain, points you to your prayer. And your prayer points you to your power. Let me say that again. Your pain points you to your prayer points, and your prayer points point you to your power. So wherever you are feeling pain, pray about it. Your prayer points lead you to understand your pain and to make yourself stronger and bigger and bolder. So we have to graduate from feeling sorry for ourselves and feeling like a victim. We have to become thermostats. We have to walk in the room and everybody know we're here without even having to say something, because it's the supernatural, baby. It's the supernatural confidence. It's the supernatural self-worth. It's the supernatural vision that we're operating in. Because we graduated and we don't play about ourselves anymore. He's positioning you for greatness. He's positioning you for influence. He's positioning you for impact. He's positioning you for love. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of all things good. You are worthy. You are worthy. I have to say that again. You are worthy. Make your bed. You are worthy. Graduate from the pain. You are worthy. Experience the pandemic and trailblaze through it. You are worthy of purpose. You are worthy of supernatural, divine opportunities, resources, connections, relationships, prosperity, abundance, wealth. You are worthy of the bigger, bolder you. So rise, graduate, throw off your hat, and show everybody how you slayed your giants, because the giant is coming, the biggest giant, and you're going to have to display what God has done behind the scenes. You're going to have to display what God has done in your life behind the curtains. When people weren't watching you, now they have something to watch. See, David, he didn't stop at slaying the giant, throwing the pebble and hitting him in the forehead. He went over there, he took that knife and he slayed him and he cut his head off, and he walked around with that head in his hand in front of everybody, because he needed everybody to see that I have always slayed my giants. I am bigger, I am bolder, I am confident, I am supernatural, walking in my divine purpose in the spirit of excellence. So rise to the occasion, graduate. You are worthy, and the bigger, bolder you has arrived.
Greetings and great day. I am Atia Stevenson, and I would like to welcome you to the Bigger, Bolder You. A special thanks to the illustrious, bold, brilliant, and beautiful Miss Alicia Brooks. Thank you so much for having me. It is an absolute delight to be here with you all today. I have a question for you. Have you ever wanted to pursue a career, a dream, or hobby, but it has yet to materialize? Have you ever looked at someone and said, wow, I wish that I could do that? I wish that I could be like them. Well, I am here to do two things today. I am going to challenge and compel you today. Challenge and compel you to do what? I'm so glad you asked. I am going to challenge and compel you to show up and conquer. How to claim your crown after trauma. You do know that there is life after traumatic experience, right? You do understand that there is life on the other side of that trauma. And I am here to challenge and compel you in doing that on today. So before we get started, we're going to talk about what a crown is. What is a crown? Because before we do anything, we have to have understanding of what it is that we're doing, right? And so a crown is a reward of victory. It's a mark of honor. It is a royal or imperial headdress of sovereignty. A crown is something that is placed on you as a crown, as something of a royal nature. For my believers, our favorite book is, he says that I have crowned you with wisdom. Ladies, did you not know that we are a crown to a man? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I bet you didn't know that, did you? We are the crown to a man. A woman is a crown to her husband. So there are several things that a crown represents, what a crown represents. So when we talk about trauma, what is trauma? Trauma is pain, it's damage, it's shock, or it is suffering. Trauma is any event beyond a person's ability to handle, period. If you've ever gone through something, if you've ever been processed through something, that it was just at that moment, it was just a bit much. That was some level of trauma. Trauma is also a mental, physical, emotional, or psychological injury that can be translated as a wound. It could be translated as a wound. It's also a behavioral state resulting from a severe mental or emotional stress. These are the things that trauma are. What are the types of traumas? Types of traumas, there could be childhood neglect or abuse, spousal neglect or abuse. There could be sexual neglect or abuse. Loss of a loved one could create a traumatic experience, a natural disaster, and other things that simply cause us to be beyond our ability to be able to handle that. And so can I tell you, my friends, that trauma leaves us stripped, muted, afraid, and feeling unworthy. Trauma leaves us stripped, muted, afraid, and unworthy. When we've been processed, when we've gone through something in our lives that was simply beyond our ability to handle at that time, in some way, shape, or form, it left us stripped, muted, afraid, and feeling unworthy. So how do we know if trauma is traumatizing you? We're going to talk about a few keys here. How are you able to tell if trauma is traumatizing you? Because at the end of the day, we are getting over trauma and we are doing what? We are claiming the crown. That's what we are doing. We are claiming that crown. So before we can do that, we have to be able to deal with the trauma, because you do understand that trauma prevents a lot of things in our lives. So again, how do you know when trauma is traumatizing you? How are you able to tell? Why? Because it magnifies the victim in you. It magnifies that victimized mentality. That's what it does. Trauma forces you to show up from your lower self, your lesser self, your minor self. It shows up from that traumatic self. That's what unhealed and unresolved trauma does. That's what it does. Here it is, you're 45 years of age. And while a part of you is that mature adult, another part of you is that 6-year-old little boy, 6-year-old little girl that's still tucked away in that closet. Why? Because you're still imprisoned from the trauma that you have experienced. But we're coming to compel you today to come out of the trauma and to do what? To claim your crown, because there's a throne waiting on you. I need you to put it in the chat. My throne is waiting on me. My throne is waiting on me. So how are some ways that we know? How do we know when trauma is traumatizing us? Number one, you ignore your inner voice. Why do you ignore your inner voice? You don't trust it. You don't trust your inner voice. Your inner voice is not confident enough where it rises in that you could trust it. And a lot of times it's because trauma has done what? It has muted us. It has muted us. How do you know when trauma is traumatizing you? Number one, you ignore your inner voice. Number two, you avoid speaking your truth. You ignore speaking your truth because number one, trauma causes you to seclude yourself. Trauma causes you to isolate a lot of the time. So you avoid speaking your truth about yourself and about others. So therefore, it's very easy for you to be taken advantage of. We're talking about how do you know when trauma is traumatizing you? Why? Because you're easily taken advantage of. You feel like you don't have a voice. Your voice has been muted. So therefore, you don't use your voice. You do not present healthy boundaries for yourself. So therefore, anything goes. But can I tell you, we are claiming our crown. Therefore, anything does not go. I need it in the chat. I'm claiming my crown. I'm claiming my crown. How do you know when trauma is traumatizing you? Number three, we say yes when we should be saying no. We are people pleasers. Again, we've not discovered or created healthy boundaries. We've not discovered or created healthy boundaries for ourselves. So therefore, we give people permission to come into our life and do as they will. So if they want to make a mess in our lives, we let them make a mess. If they want to come and just dump on us, we let them dump on us. Why? Because I am operating from a traumatic state and I have lack of boundary. My first challenge is for you is to create some healthy boundaries. It's okay to say no. Because guess what, sweetheart? I choose me. I choose me. If helping you is harming me, that's not a good alignment. I choose me. How else do you know when you are operating from a traumatic state? How do you know when trauma is traumatizing you? You avoid taking the steps that will cause you to heal and to grow. Because remember, we talked about trauma restricts you. Trauma restricts, it strips, it mutes. So you avoid taking the steps. Why? Because you're fearful. You are fearful. Trauma can blind you at times. Trauma can blind you at times. You should be taking the necessary steps to grow. You don't even know where to begin. You don't even know where to begin. Have you ever had, you created a spring project, in the springtime and darling, I am going to clean out the garage. I'm going to clean out this garage. But over the course of the years, over the course of the seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall, every time something needed to be stored, you did what? You threw it in the garage. You threw it in the garage. Things you wanted, things you didn't want, things that were important, things that was not important. You threw it in the garage. So now comes the time to clean the garage, and you open up that garage door and you look and you say, I don't know where to begin. Why? Because it's overwhelming at that point. Why? It's overwhelming because everything is everywhere. It's so much stuff just in there with no place. Everything has a place. Everything has a place. So trauma can prevent you of even wanting to do the work. It's just overwhelming. It's overwhelming. And that's why those that have gone through traumatic experiences and have yet to discover the courage to conquer, they sometimes go through bouts of anxiety and depression. Why? Because the thought of it is overwhelming. But if you could please put in the chat, I am claiming my crown. I'm claiming my crown. How do you know when trauma is traumatizing you? Because you prioritize other people's needs before your own. I choose me. Sweetheart, can I tell you that you are worth it? You are worth it. I choose me. How else do you know if trauma is traumatizing you? You deny that there are any problems in your relationships. Because again, you see through the lens of abandonment, and you see through the lens of rejection and isolation. So therefore, you're a people pleaser. So whatever it is I could do to fit in, I'm going to fit in. Whatever it is that I could do to fit in. You don't really like being by yourself. You don't enjoy time with yourself. You've not discovered the best parts of you that says, you know what? I enjoy myself. I am lovable. I do enjoy this. You've never given yourself the opportunity to discover a new hobby. You become codependent on other people. You deny that there are problems in the relationship to either to keep them around or to avoid confrontation. And both are operating from a traumatic experience. Both of those are operating out of a lens of trauma. Because if you cannot be afraid of confrontation, if you're going to be bold, if you're going to be you, if you're going to be that big, bold, beautiful you, my love, if something has to be addressed, we have to address it. If we're claiming our crown, if you are a queen that is claiming your crown, you have to be able to put things in proper perspective. If you mishandled me, I need to let you know that. I need to let you know that. You're afraid of confrontation because you're muted. You're muted. So it's easy for you to feel intimidated. It's easy for you to back into a corner. But put in the chat, not today. Put in the chat, I am not traumatized. Put in the chat, I'm claiming my crown. I'm claiming my crown. How else do you know? You give more chances than warranted. You give more chances than warranted. How many times do you have to hear an apology, my love, without seeing some type of change in behavior? Now, we understand we're going to work through some things, but I'm not going to keep apologizing for the same thing. At some point, I have to realize what it is that I'm doing. So another thing is you're giving more chances than warranted when you've been hurt, disrespected, or mishandled. We're talking about how do you know indicators when trauma is traumatizing you. When trauma is traumatizing you, you have to know that you are worthy of it. I choose me. Put in the chat, I choose me. Because a part of you, when you see through a lens of trauma, you feel like you don't deserve anything better. Trauma causes you to feel like, okay, whatever that's given to you, that's what I'll take. No, darling, no. You don't go with the flow. You are the flow. You don't go with the flow. You create your own current. Put in the chat, I'm claiming my crown. That's what I'm doing. I'm claiming my crown. I'm claiming my crown. What else happens when trauma is traumatizing you? You make excuses for abuse in any capacity. Whether it's in a love relationship, whether it's in a friendship, whether it's with your family, whether your children are disrespecting you, you make excuses for abuse in any capacity. They didn't mean it. It wasn't like that. You justify for them, but that does not sound like someone that is claiming their crown. Lastly, you see through a lens of a victimized perspective. You see through a lens of trauma, of pain, and from a low place of esteem and confidence. How do you know when trauma is traumatizing you? Because you see through the lens of trauma. You see through a lens of pain in a low place. You see through pain of a lack of esteem and confidence. So it's okay for you to see it in everyone else, but I can't do that. Who says you can't do that? You have a crown. You have a throne to uphold. You have a throne. You're big. You're beautiful. You are brilliant. Put it in the chat. I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I'm worth it. So how is it? So we talked about indicators to know when it is that trauma is traumatizing you, right? So now we're going to talk about how to claim your crown. How to claim your crown. So we're no longer allowing trauma to traumatize us, but we are going from trauma to what? To triumph. Put it in the chat. I'm going from trauma to triumph. How to claim your crown. And if you are going to claim your crown, there are just some things that you must do. Now, let's give a recap of what a crown is before we get into it. A crown is what? It's a reward of victory, right? Because we're going from trauma to triumph. Crown is a reward of victory. It is a mark of honor, a royal headdress. It's not just a headdress, darling. It is royal. You are royalty. You are royalty. It's a headdress of sovereignty. That's what it is. That's what a crown is. And if you're going to claim your crown from trauma to triumph, you have to do a few things. If you're going to claim that crown, if you are going to claim your crown, there are some things you must do. Number one, you must realize that this thing belongs to you. You must realize, darling, that you were born for this moment. You must realize that it belongs to you and that you deserve it. We're talking about claiming your crown. If you're going to claim it, you have to know it belongs to you. And guess what, love? If you do not claim it, it will remain unclaimed. It will remain unclaimed. Why? Why will it remain unclaimed? Because there's something that you have to do in the earth that no one can do. There is no one that has your fingerprint. What does that mean? That means that every part of your aspect of your life has been preparing you for this moment because you have one identical fingerprint that's not like anyone else. That means that you were meant to disrupt in a way that no one has before. But do you believe? Do you believe it? Do you believe it? Put in the chat, I'm claiming my crown. How do you claim your crown? You have to realize it belongs to you. You need to confirm your identity. When you are going to claim something that belongs to you, they're not going to just turn it over. You have to do what? Prove that you are who you say that you are. Come on here. You have to prove your identity. You have to confirm your identity. Meaning, if you are going to claim your crown, you have to have a crystal clear perspective of who it is that you are, who it is that you are designed to be in the earth. That's the only way that you're going to be able to claim this crown, because a crown is aligned with occupancy. A crown is aligned with the throne. And so if you're going to have a crown, you have to have what it takes to occupy that throne. Put in the chat, I'm occupying my throne. Put it in the chat, I am occupying my throne. If you are going to claim your crown, you have to be tired and frustrated of where you are. You have to be tired of people bypassing you. You have to be tired of telling yourself what you're going to do and you ain't done it yet. You have to be tired of giving yourself excuses. You have to be tired of allowing your lower self to talk to you. You'll never do that. Who told you that? What lens are you seeing through? We're going from trauma to triumph. How are you going to claim this crown? You are going to claim this crown because you are going to decide that you are ready to show up and conquer. You're going to decide that you are ready to show up and conquer. You are going to say hello to this big, this bold, this brilliant, this beautiful you. You are going to say goodbye to trauma and you're going to say hello to claiming this crown. You are going to say hello to this world changer. You're going to say hello to this woman, to this man that has disrupted generational cycles. You are going to say hello. How else can you claim your crown? How are you going to claim your crown? You are going to take courage. You must take courage. You must discover the courage to conquer. Because can I just be totally honest with you, my friends? When you are ready to address traumatic experiences and trauma in your life, it is going to take courage. You have to discover the courage to conquer, because contrary to what anybody says, you're not just going to manifest. Now, come on here. It just does not happen like that. You have to do what it takes for you to be in that space. And that's why it's called triumph. That's why it's called victory. That is why. It is for a reason. You have to discover the courage to conquer. I say it all the time. I will never forget when I was homeless for 8 months in a homeless shelter. I lost everything, my home, my job, my car, while going through a divorce. A homeless shelter was my home for 8 months. And I had to discover, you all. I had to look within myself, regardless of what was going on around me. I had to look in myself and say, girl, you better get up. Girl, you were born for this. You have to discover the courage to conquer, and it's in you. Everything that you need already exists. It's in you. It is in you. It is in you. How are you going to claim your crown? You have to accept the hard but liberating truth. The hard but liberating truth. Yes, it did happen. Yes, I was traumatized by that experience or by those experiences. Yes, I was mishandled. Yes, I was neglected. Yes, I was abandoned. Yes, I was cheated on. Yes, I did lose a lot. Whatever the case may be, we can't take back the trauma, but we can certainly heal from it. Come on here. I need you to put in the chat, I decide to heal. Put in the chat, I decide to heal. We have to acknowledge the pain. How are we going to claim our crown? We have to acknowledge the pain. We cannot ignore pain. We cannot suppress pain. We cannot medicate it. And this is for my ladies. We certainly cannot mask it. We certainly cannot mask it. And you know, we're good for that. We're good for that, darlings. We're good for masking our pain. We're good for putting our game face on. We can't mask it. We cannot. We have to acknowledge it. When I was going through that divorce, I had to sit in every pocket of pain. I'm not talking about the embarrassment from losing everything and with my business being all over the place. I had to sit in the pocket of unforgiveness. I had to sit in the pocket of shame. I had to sit in the pocket of rejection. I had to sit in the pocket of anger. I had to sit in each pocket of pain, not to remain, but I certainly was not suppressing it. I certainly was not suppressing it. And when you've claimed your own crown, when you have claimed, when you have discovered the courage to conquer, when you have discovered the courage to get over the trauma and claim your crown, it now authorizes you, it deputizes you to do what, darling? To go back and help another adjust their crown. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It deputizes you and it authorizes you to go back and help someone else adjust their crown. Okay, I want you to know that you are worth it. You are worth it. You are worth going back. You are worth it. You are worth the process, darling. You are worth the healed you. You are worth the fact of being able to discover the best in you, to present the best of you. You are worth it, that you don't have to be a public success and a private failure. You are worth it. It doesn't matter how many figures you make. If your soul, my God, is traumatic, it is all for naught. It is all for naught. It is all for naught. I want to tell you that you're worth it. You are bold. You're brilliant. You are bodacious. You are beautiful. You are incomparable. So can I please tell you, do not compare yourself with anyone. There is no one on the earth like you. There is no one on the earth like you. You are it. It did not happen to you. It happened for you. I challenge you. I compel you to claim your crown. The throne is waiting for you, darling. The throne is waiting on you, King. The throne is waiting on you, King. Shift your lens. Shift your lens. We cannot take back what happened, but we do have control over our lives. from this moment forward. We do have control, and claim your crown. There's a throne that is waiting for you. And I don't know about you, but I've made the decision that I am going to occupy my throne. I am going to occupy my throne. So let's come on. Let's go ahead and get over this trauma. Let's go ahead and claim our crown and show up and conquer. Let's go.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Bigger, Bolder You Global Conference. I am so grateful, honored, elated, ecstatic, and blessed that you have decided to commit some time with me. Someone you probably don't even know, but I am so grateful. You have allowed me and my amazing friends, some I knew and some I did not know, to grace you with their presence tonight and the next couple of days, for us to get to know each other, for us to become the bigger, bolder us, the best version of ourselves. And I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me into your living room, on your phone, wherever, virtually. I do want to say thank you to my entire team who has allowed me to be who I am and making my first virtual conference happen and it be amazing. I can send you love, light, and many blessings because without you all, I probably would not have been able to do this. Actually, I know I probably wouldn't have done it without you. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So tonight we are talking about, the limiting beliefs, those things that have held us back. And you have listened and heard from amazing ladies who have truly triumphed over trials, tribulations, and trauma, mind you. And tonight, whenever you are watching this, I want to talk to you about who is Elisha. So my topic is, of course, that's who I was, but this is who I am today, so that you are able to understand where I've come from and how I've transformed and how the process has brought me to this point and what you can do and what I'm going to assist you in doing, all right, for the next 3 days or 2 days or 3 days, whatever, all right? So, who is truly ready to change and transform into a bigger, bolder you? A bigger, bolder version of who you are, not who you were yesterday or 5 years ago, 20 years ago, but a bigger version of you. Who knows that the time is really now? And because you are here, you have told me that you are ready. I know we've all heard that cliche. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I truly do believe that. So now I want you to look at the things that has held you back, things that have allowed you to play small and to keep silent in being the best version of you. What does that look like? What have you heard? What was told to you about you? And you believed it. Now, did you really own it? Did you have to own it? No, you didn't. I didn't either. Okay? Tonight is all about truth and who Elisha is, the good, the bad, and all of that. All right. But my other question is, how did you sabotage your own dreams, your goals, your career, your relationships, and even your friendships? But the biggest question of all is, how did you let you down? I'll wait, because I have a long list too. I am so not perfect, but I will wait because I know how that is. See, our thoughts, our limiting beliefs, our, the critic in our minds, the feelings that we feel about ourselves, that we play small in the big scheme of things, but you have to still keep on going. All right. So I want to share how I came to be and live and walk in my bigger, bolder version of me. Now, I can tell you, it was not easy, not at all. But because I have been delivered and I have been healed and I am whole, I am comfortable with sharing who I am because how I see myself matters more to me than what the world thinks and says about me. And that is where this all began. Okay, so I'll just give you the foundation of who Elisha is. I won't go into all the details tonight, but you will hear from me because I am truthful, authentic. I hold no bars from anything. Like I'm just free to do that because I, one, believe that my life was not for my own, not for me. My life, all the things I've gone through that I'm about to share with you was not for me. And I knew that. I didn't know that going through it because it really did not feel good. But I now know why I went through it. And I can tell you it warms my heart. It blesses my soul. And I'm so grateful to be used in such a way. Okay, so I didn't even bring no tissue for me to even have some tears because I will get teary eyed, but I will try not to cry. So I was born in May 20th exactly. And I was not born alone. I was born with my twin sister, my fraternal twin sister, who is 7 minutes older than me. And her name is Keisha. And my mother did not even know that she was pregnant with twins back then. So when I was born, it was like she went into shock. She had hypertension and high blood pressure, all from the pregnancy. She had to stay in the hospital for 2 weeks. And so did I, because my twin took all the food, okay? But my twin sister, I love her dearly. Keisha is a go-getter as well. And I have two younger sisters. One is Sharmika. She's 5 years younger. I have a stepsister, Ashley, and we have an older brother named Reggie, who is 5 years older than us. Okay. So we were born in a small town. And I'm pretty sure you all heard it because it was all in the news about COVID, Albany, Georgia. So we were born there. And 2 months after we were born, we moved to Chicago, Illinois. And my mother and father were married, and we stayed in the suburbs where we had different friends. We were just those kinds of, people, those children, those girls. So we were always playing with everybody. And so when our parents divorced, when we were, I forgot what age, I think it was middle school or something, because we moved back to Albany, where my mother is from. And We went to high school, we went to middle school, high school, and went to college. So we are all graduates of Albany State, including my father and uncles. So HBCU, yes. However, my mom did not remarry, and my father is happily married for 30 plus years now. And I knew at that particular time some things that I was feeling, which I'm going to go into in a few minutes. But I just want to give you a background. So my mom never remarried, so she became a single mom. And she was a nurse at one of the main hospitals in Albany, which she is now retired from. Now, growing up in that house after a divorce, I can tell you it was a little challenging because I watched my mother, go to work, go to sleep, try to put food on the table, and all these things. And I was always saying, I do not want to do that. I don't want to be like that. So I was always into the books. I was always into the entrepreneurship thing. So at age 15, I knew exactly what I'm supposed to be doing because I was walking around with the Essence, the Black Enterprise, the Entrepreneur magazines. I was into entrepreneurship, but I was also into wanting to be a psychologist, one of them. I wanted to go to Fisk University and do the whole thing because I'm into the personal development, the leadership, the mindset. And so I knew at 15 what I was supposed to do. And I knew at 15 that I was called to women globally. And I can tell you, I was baffled when I figured that out, when I heard God say it, or at the time, I don't even think I was, saved, but I knew that I knew at 15, that's what I was supposed to be doing. And so, that was a huge thing for me. I'm like, me, being called to women, being chosen for women across the globe, across nations, to empower, to engage, and educate. That was huge for me at 15. Now, mind you, at 15, I didn't know what all that meant. All I knew was I wrote it down. And I kept meditating on it. I kept going back to it. And I'm going to bring you up to speed. But I cannot say anything else without telling you that I am the mother of the best amazing son I've ever had. I only have one. He's my favorite. But I have an awesome son. He is 28. His name is Damon Brooks, and he is married to Teresa Brooks. And I can tell you that man-child of mine, I absolutely love. Absolutely. He is my favorite person in the world. He is my biggest cheerleader. He is my confidant. He is now like trying to be the parent, and I am the parent. Okay. But he is smart as ever. So I knew that when he was born, and I have this cutest picture, I probably should have showed it to you, the cutest picture of him at 11 months holding a basketball. So I knew something was going to happen because he had the biggest hands and the biggest feet, okay? But he has brought me so much joy. He has truly brought me a life, and I could not ask for a better son, a better man-child, my baby, okay? I raised him the best way I knew how back then, all right? I had him when I was 20, and I literally did the things that I did not get. So I poured into him. I shared with him and kissed on him and loved on him. And until this day, I tell him I love him all the time. He will not know that his mother did not love him because I didn't get all that. Okay. And so I poured into him, I poured into his dreams, his aspirations, and I tried to make everything happen that I could as a single mom then and married. So now he plays professional basketball in Japan, which is where they are. This is his 7th year playing professional basketball. Him and Teresa met at Davidson College, which in high school, he went to one of the best, he went to several high schools, but he ended his high school year with the amazing championship and all that good stuff for basketball. So he ended up with over 40 scholarship offers, went to Davidson, 160 some $1,000. I didn't pay one dime. And I was grateful that I was able to see him at those games. Watching him play basketball, yeah, I'm talking about my baby. Watching him play basketball was the highlight because when he gets on the court, he looks and he scans for me in that stadium wherever I am, and he does this nod thing. And when he does this nod thing, he's like, okay, I can go into my zone. When I tell you every single time, high school, middle school, high school, AAU, college, and even pro, he does that. That warms my heart. That's like, okay, mom, you're here. I can go do my thing. And that just lights my fire, you all. If you are a mom and you know what that's like when your children do something and it just makes you proud. So that's my baby, Damon Brooks, at we're size 6, he's 6'7", we're a size 16 shoe. Like he's my true man child, okay? And my daughter-in-law, Teresa, I love her. They have been together since he was a sophomore and she was a freshman. And so she is like my daughter. They're both 2 peas in a pod because they're both only children. So I get to brag on my baby because I'm his biggest cheerleader. So that is my baby and about my family and my life. Oh, and by the way, yes, I get asked all the time, did he play with Steph Curry? No, he did not play with Steph Curry. Steph Curry was going out, I think a year or so before my son did. But if you go to Davidson, you will see he is All-American on that wall twice, just like Steph Curry. So we love Steph around here. Now, Elisha. Who is she? I know you're all like, okay, so this woman has been here, but she hasn't been out in a big way. And I can tell you because I have not played big until now. Until now, I have not played big. So I can tell you some of my limiting beliefs and where they came from. And I can tell you this because I've done the work. So it's not easy, but it's all worth it. So as I mentioned before, I do have a twin. Now, my twin is light-skinned. I am the dark twin. I am the second twin. And I was, my mom didn't even know that I was coming. Can you imagine? All right. So coming out into the world, not even being known that you are here, that you're supposed to be here. That's one of the big things. Okay. And I had to uncover all of this through, yes, therapy and talk and all kinds of things. Okay. So she was the pretty light-skinned one because, colorism amongst us, our people, everybody, racism is huge. So she was a light skin. I'm darker. I had crooked teeth. My teeth were still not straight. But however, I used to have these big maroon schoolboy glasses. You all remember the schoolboy glasses? I wouldn't even dare show that picture right now. But it seemed like I was always being second. In my mind, I was being second. I never looked at her as competition because she's my twin sister. And so I would look at her, she would look at me, and it was like we're in stride together. We're in stride together. All right. But I can tell you, my twin sister, she truly takes and stands boldly in her number one twin spot because she is, yeah, I love her. I love her. But when our parents divorced, my father moved to St. Louis from Chicago, and we moved to Albany, Georgia. And back then, I was trying to figure things out. I'm like, okay, so my father moved. He didn't, it felt like he didn't choose me or choose us, that he went across to another state, to the Midwest, and started a whole new family. And I can remember feeling really, really sad, really, really down. And I think for me, it was a daddy wound. I was looking for him to affirm me, not you, affirm me, and to say I'm doing good. But he wasn't there physically to say you're doing good. Now, mind you, he was a great dad. He stayed in contact. Like, he was never a dad, that deadbeat dad, never. I would never put him in that category because he has been amazing father. He is my daddy, okay? And being my daddy, I look like him because I look like him, and my sister is light skinned. She looks like my mother. And so I always wanted his approval. I always sought for his approval to say, hey, you did good, or anything like that. And so I became looking for affirmation, validation, and all that from the wrong people, from people who I just should not have even entertained. Men and women, friends, girlfriends, I was looking for that affirmation. I was looking for how can I show up? How can I feel better about who I am? And so I was always getting hit with the constant rejection, feeling as if I was being used or that I was not good enough. And I'm sure I'm not by myself, because those times it was like, okay, Alicia, what are you going to do? How are you going to do this? And that was my high school years. Those were my years of trying to walk into who I am, having my own personality, aside from my twin, and having separate friends and all that. So it was like, okay, figure yourself out. And so in college, I was a sophomore in college. And I got pregnant with my son at 20. I had him at 20. And I was so determined not to be a statistic. I was so determined not to fall behind. And so I was that one who had him in May. And then I took that summer off and I got right back in school that fall. And I remember my sister, twin, sharing with my father on Christmas Day that, oh, Lisa's pregnant. What? How are you going to tell him on Christmas Day? Seriously? So I felt so horrible because I remember my father saying, baby, I just want you to graduate. I don't want you to be, and I was like, really? That hurt. That put a deeper dagger in my heart, in my spirit. And so I said, Daddy, I'm going to finish regardless. I'm going to get this degree and I'm not going to be a statistic. And so I need you to believe in me for that. And I think every day, all the time, when I got sad or if I failed or anything, that would come up in my head that, okay, my dad's not going to be proud of me, or, you know, I was seeking that validation and affirmation from my father. And so, fast forward, even in college, I was raped in college. That was not a good feeling, to have someone violate you. And yeah, raped in college. Then, even worse, I was like feeling like a failure. I really wasn't good enough. I didn't feel seen. I felt like I wasn't being heard, that I wasn't smart enough, not even pretty enough. Although I did have a figure 8 size body. Like I was cute. I had a little cute shape. But my twin got all the booty and I didn't. But I had the cocoa bottle body and I loved that. But that wasn't good enough for me. That wasn't good enough for me. And I knew I was smart and still am smart as hell, okay? But I kept getting in my own way. I kept putting other things and other people and other opinions about me and what people have done to me before my own. I know I'm not the only one, okay? So, fast forward. I have been married 1.5 times, okay? 1.5 times. I know that's a story. However, I can tell you this. My first marriage, we were together almost 12 years, married almost 10. My second marriage, I met online, which I will never get on Plenty of Fish ever again. Met him online. We dated for like 10 months. Said I do. And 6 months later, I left. Okay. Because hindsight 2020 now, I knew I was in a bad place. And you are going to attract the people to you according to the energy you put out there. And so I was not in a good place, spirit-wise. I was not in a good place where I felt good about me. With business wasn't doing good back then. I think that was 2016. There was a lot going on. And I literally went and got married. My son didn't even meet him beforehand because he was in Italy or Germany, one of them. And I was trying to wait till he got home. My parents did not even meet him. And so it was a whole lot. I was in a bad place. And I cannot blame anybody else for that except for me. I have to own my stuff. And so I was an emotional wreck. First of all, I left because I don't do any type of abuse, period. No emotional, mental, physical, none of that. You're not going to do that to me. You're not going to disrespect me. And I'm not going to have that. I vowed to myself that after my first marriage, I was not going to allow anyone to take me down, bring me down, and not add to my life. I just wasn't going to do it. And so I left after 6 months. I was mentoring women at the time for I think it was my 15th year. It's 18 now. So it might be a little. So I was mentoring the ladies every Tuesday night in class, face to face. Went through this whole thing. They saw me meet him, date him, marry him, go through a divorce, go through all of the whole thing of that's a story. And so watching those ladies and the ladies watching me go through that, I said it had to be for a reason. Because when I got a divorce, I left. I went to my mom's in Albany for a month. Both times my divorce, I left Charlotte and moved. Well, I didn't move. I went to visit my mom and stayed there for like 30 days because I'm big on peace and I have to get me together, my mind together. So I left and people were like, you come back, I'll be back. And, I still have a place there. I'll be back. And so I left to get me together. And so when you have the abuse and then you have the men cheating on you and going back to it thinking like, okay, how does every man cheat? And I still believe in love. I still believe that there are good men out there. I still believe that I am going to get married again, for real, because this year I am manifesting love. However, I'm not going to rush because I do know who I am now and the value I bring to any relationship. And I'm not meant to be single, but I'm not playing either. Okay. So those marriages and relationships have taught me so much. And when I went through that and going through this whole wife school, book, Bible study, whatever you want to call it, I knew that the next one, whoever he is, will be the last one. The third is the final, okay? To death do us part. So I still believe in love. I still believe that there are good men out there, regardless of the ones have come across my path. I still believe in that because love does not hurt. Love does not fail. And love just is. It is what you make it. And marriage is beautiful and it's sacred. And so I still believe in that. Now, yeah, I still believe in that. I can remember writing in my journal so many times about me and love and relationships and business and success and wealth and empowering women. And I was like, how in the world can I really do this? How can someone really believe in me? I had so many doubts, so many doubts because I was going through life. I was going through life. I was not getting paid my worth. I was not being seen. I was not being heard. I was not being valued. I was not even being empowered or educated by other people. I've asked other women to be, my mentors, and they all said no. And so can you imagine all the weight, all the discouragement, all of the things going on in my own head because I did not feel any of those things. And I know I'm not alone. And your story may not be the same as my story, but we all have stories. We all have stories. And so even with that, my sister, my twin, is a therapist. And through all of that, after all of that, I have literally attempted suicide, not once, but twice. I have been depressed to the point where I did not want to get out the bed. I didn't want to shower for 3 days. I was in the house. I would answer the phone. I didn't even open the blinds, the curtains, no, nothing. I literally sobbed. You know how you have one of those deep, 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 deep cries? The cries that are like, okay, when you get up from here, you got to do something. I remember Iyanla Vanzant saying that. When you get up from crying, you need to get up with a plan. You need to get up taking some action. So for them 3 days, I literally sobbed. And I was like, how in the world can I be seen, heard? How can anyone pay me my worth? How can anyone even believe in me? I've gone through 2 divorces. I've attempted suicide. I've had, business failure. All of it. Okay. And to hear people say, you? Really, Alicia? Yeah. You seem like you have it all together. On the outside, you had amazing husband. Yes. You had a son who is doing the daggone thing. And you have clients, you're doing what you absolutely love. But how can you feel like you're a failure? And then what gets me is, now mind you, people say this all the time, and I'm grateful for it. But it was not until recently, not totally recently, until I did the work. It wasn't until recently that I came into my own. Out here all the time, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous on the outside and the inside. I've always made sure that my spirit, that my inside matches the outside, which is why I don't do negative energy. I don't do anybody who brings me drama. I just am in peace and happiness now after going through all that years ago. And so to hear that, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, and why are you single? Like, why would anybody do that to you? Why would anybody want to abuse you? Why would anybody want to cheat? Blah, blah, blah. That is not all of me. I'm grateful. I truly am. God blessed me with amazing genes, I guess you would say. But it wasn't until I had to go through the process to even believe that myself. I did not believe that. And I can tell you it gets better and better because even I remember in 2019, I've never ever had hair in my head. I've always had the long hair. And I remember putting some crochet braids in my hair. I absolutely never had any. And when she finished, when Essence finished with my hair, because my son and Teresa, neither one of them would let me see the video. I remember taking my phone and looking at myself. I went into the mirror and I literally cried. And if you go back into my Facebook, you'll see that. You'll see me crying on Facebook because I didn't see that. I didn't see the beautiful Alicia now, the confident Alicia now. I didn't see that. When I looked into that mirror, I saw the old Alicia gone. I saw the old Alicia literally gone. And when I tell you how that felt, I'm not, okay? It wasn't until that I really, truly saw me for who I am. And then to hear people say, well, Alicia, you're only living at 20% of your potential. There's so much greatness in you. There's so much in you the world needs to hear. And I said, okay, I know this. I knew this. It's written all in my 50-something journals I have, right? when I got the chance to sit with myself and to see and to think and to look back over my life. And I had to look at the accomplishments. I wrote down every last accomplishment I have done, I have made, I have walked in. I made that 2 weeks where I did not want to even think about all the mistakes, all the failure, all the bad decisions I've made. I didn't want to think about that. I made those 2 weeks all about positivity, looking myself in the face in the mirror and speaking affirmations to myself. I had to get out of that long depression. Depression doesn't just go and come, you know. It to I had to look at where I've been to where I've come to. And I remember one of my big things was I knew God said, Alicia, back at 15, you are supposed to be international. You're called to women globally, right? And so I changed my name, my business name, to Alicia Brooks International, which is all my other things. And I was walking down the stairs one day and I said, well, God, if you told me to be, I'm going to go and walk and speak and empower women globally, and now you told me to do Alicia Brooks International, and I still haven't gone international. I'm like, what in the world? There goes a doubt again. So those 2 weeks, I literally replayed all the accomplishments. I wrote down every accomplishment I could remember. And that particular accomplishment, I literally was writing blogs on personal branding. And this guy named Joshua, never met him, lived in India. He reached out to me and said, hey, I see all the amazing things you're doing in personal branding, and I would love for you to write for my international personal branding magazine. And I was like, oh, really? This is great. So we ended up having a conversation and we talked on FaceTime. And that day he said, Alicia, I have fallen in love with your spirit. Your spirit is amazing. It's infectious. It's amazing. And he said it again. The world needs to know who you are. And I said, really? Thank you. And so he said, I need you to get on the phone with me if you are available tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I have somebody I want you to meet. I said, yeah, absolutely. 11 o'clock came. We got on a call. And our spirits connected. He connected me to Laura in Nigeria, Africa. And she has an amazing conference. And she invited me to come speak. She brings 1 or 2 Americans or someone from out the country every year. And so, mind you, I was sitting at my desk. And when she asked me that, I saw the application for my passport on the desk. It's been on there for a year. I haven't even put ink to it, okay? So I said, okay. And when is this? It was 6 weeks later. 6 weeks later, I needed to have my passport, my visa, and that daggone yellow fever shot that the insurance doesn't pay for $170 for. And so I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? So my son said, Mom, you got to get it expedited. I said, well, I'm looking here at the post office and all the things are booked up because everybody's trying to get their visa and their passports. And so he said, Mom, go up here to the one in Morrisville. I go to the one in Morrisville. I didn't even have an appointment. I literally went up to the Morrisville one, and I was standing in line. I got to tell you, this was literally God. This whole thing was literally God. I literally stood in line. There was a line, but there was a line of this lady with her 3 small children that was in the line for the passport. Now, mind you, you have to have an appointment. So it just so happened I got there behind the lady. She went in to the guy, and the guy was an African-American guy, and I'm sitting there waiting. There was no one else that came behind me, so I stood there waiting. And so I knew it would take longer than what it did. She came out like 5, maybe 10 minutes later, and he said, okay, well, I will see you, blah, blah, blah. He's like, are you here for a passport? Yes, I am. He asked me to come back. And so I did the application, did all that, and he saw my son's name. This is up where Davidson is. He saw my son's name. And when I tell you, everybody loves my son, still do. He says, wait a minute, you're Boots' mom? Yeah, I am. You're Boots' mom. Like, he literally was like, oh my God, I got Boots' mom in my office. I was like, that's funny. That's funny, but I need his passport. So he's like, oh my gosh, let me get this done right now. He literally did it right then. I got it expedited. Oh God, got it expedited. Had to wait for that to come back to get my visa. I literally, this was my first time doing all this, y'all. And waiting for the visa, that took forever. It was up into the last moment, okay? So we went, my son and them had the national tournament in Asheville every year. So the NCAA tournament, finals, whatever it was, went there. I'm like, okay, I got to leave here in like 4 days. I need my passport, this visa, because I had to send the passport. I was like, I need this. I need this. And so we got back, and the passport was there. So I literally packed. I had to fly from Charlotte to New York. And I get to New York. Mind you, never been international. So I didn't even know that I was supposed to be there 2 hours before. So get to JFK, wherever it was in New York, literally was about to, just got to the gate. They just stopped letting people. I got there, I'm like, I gotta get in. I got to get on this plane. You gotta understand. I gotta get in. And she's like, ma'am, I can't let you in. I sat there and literally cried. I said, are you serious? Like, I gotta get to Africa for 6 days. They're waiting on me. And so I remember going somewhere in the airport to find a plug in the wall. And I sat on that floor, and I literally was like, okay, this is God. If this is you, I will get there. I am going to trust you. I literally called Josh and said, hey, I missed that plane. They would not let me on that plane. And I know I'm standing right here in time. But not, he was like, calm down. You'll be fine. Just sit tight. Whatever he did, he's like, I'll call you back in 20 minutes. He called me back in probably 20 minutes or less, and was like, okay, I need you to go here, here, and here. I had to go across the way. He rerouted my plane to Atlanta. I got on that plane, Atlanta, that night for 21, 22 hours across to Africa. Got there, 6 days. I had 2 assistants. I met some amazing women, which you will hear from. And I was so blessed And I was like, wow, God, this is my introduction to being Alicia Brooks International. And I tell you that not to gloat, but to tell you that from 15 years old until now, or then, 2014, I was like, God, where are you? I haven't gone international. I doubted myself for years. I've gone through the trial, the tribulations, the trauma, the doubting of me, the worst inner critic ever. That was my win. That was one of my major, biggest wins. And I tell you that because no matter how long it takes, if you know that you know, and you know that God told you, it may not happen today. It may not happen tomorrow. It may not even happen next year. Try 15. I was in my 40s, early 40s. No, maybe 30. I don't remember. Shoot. But it doesn't happen overnight. Success doesn't happen overnight. Walking in your purpose does not happen overnight. But if you stay the course and you stay faithful to yourself and you stay committed to yourself, if you keep doing the things that you know you're called to do and wait, it will happen. It will happen. And so I tell you that because it's my story. It's my story. But all of my life, I've had trials and tribulations. I've had not only myself doubting me, I have my family, my friends, so-called friends, associates. Y'all know who they are, who you are. You have them. I'm not the only one who has people who doubt you, who have people in their lives who just want to get on your bandwagon. For people, I know you have people in your life who want to see you fail, who don't even believe that you can do what you said you can do, who don't even see you any different. They still think of you the way they saw you in high school, in college. They still think of you in their minds of how you used to be. I'm not the same person I was yesterday, okay? And I know you're not either. I know I'm not the only one who has people around them who just don't believe in them, which then validated in my mind that I wasn't good enough, that my feelings didn't matter, that my past mistakes and challenges and decisions, my life was not good enough. I literally can tell you this, that the thoughts that people put on me, including the ones I put on myself, those thoughts will manifest, okay? If you continue to think those thoughts, you will begin to believe them, as I have. And I attracted people in my life that only validated the inner critic in me, which is why now I'm very intentional about who I spend my time with. And that means talking on the phone. I'm very intentional about who I give my energy and time to. Because everyone doesn't deserve to be in the front row seat of my life anymore. Ones who don't celebrate me, ones who don't want to see me win, because I want to see everybody win, because there's so much abundance here in this world that we all can win. I have no jealousy issues with anybody. Now, I can't say that it's always been, but I don't have that any now. I'm like, sister, go ahead. I am clapping you on, honey. I am lifting you up. I want every one of us to win. There is just no reason why we should not. But I remember compromising myself, my values, my beliefs. In so many ways, I just didn't seem to serve myself well at all. I didn't treat myself well. And I've only attracted people who did the same thing. Right? I attracted them into my life. I manifested them into my life because of the way I felt and the energy I was putting out. I allowed my inner critic to speak louder than anybody, even everybody else. I know who I am to be. I know who I am to become. And having the negative thoughts, the negative people around you, the naysayers, the dream killers, all those people who mean you no good, who want to just zap your energy and get everything they can from you and not pour into you. I know what that's like. I know the failure it seems to have friendships and relationships and marriages. My choices in men, you all, my picker has been broken. But it's fixed because I'm not choosing. God is now. Okay? I'm not choosing. What woman doesn't want to be chosen? I want to be chosen by the right person, by my purpose partner, by my confidant, by my best friend, by my lover. I want that person. That's who I'm manifesting now. Because I know my dreams and aspirations, it's time. It's time for yours to happen too, which is why I am here for the Bigger, Bolder You in 2021 for Women's History Month. It is the year of you. It is the year of the woman. It is the year of me. Okay? It is the year for all of us to win. And now is the time. So we're not going to feel sorry for ourselves anymore. We're not going to feel guilty when we move up and everyone else who thinks you're supposed to be back there with them. No. A great friend of mine, Trevor, always says, run with 100, but don't drag one. When he says that, I'm like, yes, honey, because I'm not dragging anybody. If you're not with me to win, and we're not in it together to win, I don't want your energy, okay? And you gotta be the same way. You have to want your dreams, your aspirations, your big moments to happen, more so than what anything, anybody has to say. You have to silence that inner critic and stop comparing yourself with other people. I've done that too. The imposter syndrome. Hello. I probably could be the poster child for that. But you, my friends, you, my ladies, we're going to walk this together. We are going to do this together. Okay? We're not going to hold any more bars back. We're not going to allow anything and anyone anymore hold us back. Period, point blank. This is the year of you. This is the year to live the biggest, boldest version of you. This is the year to bet on you every day. This is the year that you choose you and not sacrificing for any and everybody. This is the year you're going to take your life back. This is the year you're going to do the daggone thing. This is the year that you matter. This is the year you're going to put you first. Yes, we have kids. We have children. We have grown children. But this is your year. This is the year for doing it with no excuses at all. This is the year for us to walk in our biggest, boldest selves. So I want you to truly walk with me on this journey for the next few days. Get into my Facebook group because I'm going to be intentional about showing up there. You will get the raw Elisha that the world does not get to see. I'm not meant for everybody, and I am okay with that. Just because you are not meant for everybody either. Okay? Everybody can't walk with you. Everybody is not on the same vibration as you. Everyone is not going where you're going. Let that be okay. Let that be okay. If family and friends, loved ones, whomever don't believe in you, I cannot. I'm going to be good. The heck with them. No, the hell with them. Okay? I don't care. I cannot be anybody else but me. And I don't want you to be anybody else but you. I do know that now is the time. I'm here walking this bigger, bolder me with you. All right? So we are going to do this together. I cannot do it without you. And so for those who are ready, I'm ready. I am ready. All right? Suffering is a road to success. But how you think about it, how you go through it is your choice. Being broken to pieces was a part of my personal brand. It's a part of my story. It's a part that makes me real. And I have totally forgiven myself for all of my past mistakes. And I am betting and choosing and loving on me every day. All right? So I know that there are some women out there who have gone through some things, and now it's time for you to bet on you. It's time to put the trials, the hurt, the trauma, the wounds down and stop licking them. Stop licking those wounds. Get them healed. And when they're healed, don't continue to allow yourself to stay in that mindset. You got to change your mindset. You got to change your mindset. You have to heal yourself because you can only go as far as your self-esteem and your confidence allows you to. I have allowed my confidence and my self-esteem to hold me back for far too long. You can only go as far as your confidence and your self-esteem allows you to. So I'm here. I am here to pour into you, to empower you, to educate you, to help you change your mindset about you. I'm here to give you a soulgasm so that you can live your Branique brilliance, so that you can live and be and walk in your higher self and be a blessing to generations to come and leave a legacy that you are proud of because there's greatness in you, because I see you, I hear you, and I'm here to serve you. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me tonight. It's only going to get better and better. So join me here for the next 2 days. Get into the Facebook group and let's walk this journey together. I know those who are called to me will come. And those who are not, I will love you anyway and still send you love and light if we don't get to work together. I love you. I thank you. I honor you. Now go get ready for tomorrow. And don't forget the Bigger, Bolder You After Dark sessions starting in a few minutes. So thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you soon and very soon. Have a great, great day, evening, night, whatever it is. Mwah.
Once again, my friends, it's Robert Antoinette, and I trust that you have gained so much knowledge and that you have gained value as a result of listening to the presentations and watching the speakers on stage today. This is only day one, and as we're going to do with each and every subsequent evening, we're going to have the Bigger, Bolder You networking opportunity after the event. It's after dark, so you're going to have a chance to get up close and personal with the speakers and the presenters, and I encourage you to connect and collaborate. I always teach people that collaboration leads to elevation. Somebody needs to put that in the feed, put that in the chat. Collaboration leads to elevation. So I want your business to elevate. I want your brand to elevate. And more importantly, I want you to elevate. But you'll only be able to do that if you come to the Bigger, Bolder Networking After Hours event. Check it out.